sit. We're going to do a greeting routine with somebody that Spencer really loves, and I know you're not having any problems with people other than maybe he would get excited and jump on people if he really was happy to see them or a stranger on the walk or something. So we do this every day with different people. You walk him up to the person, never have the person approach him because that'll make a dog more overstimulated. So ask the person to wait, give him a little treat. See how he's sitting in a sit stay, he's really waiting. If he pops up before you release him, just tap it and just say no, and he'll go right back. You don't have to say SIT again. And then with your right hand, he's on your left with your right hand, go say hi. And Brandon, just give him a treat, pet him, and then you say, come. Call him back to you, good. Step into him, sit. We're just gonna do this 3 times just to show you how it works. And once you get comfortable with handling him, you can throw in a little sit stay, especially if you're dealing with friends or relatives that come to your house. It's just a great little training exercise. You have a lot of the basic stuff, but you're using it, sit stay, the come command, the go command, go. But you're using it in a real life context, good, that actually helps you with an issue that a lot of dogs have. Overstimulation, sit, see how I just step into him, use my body to reset him. It's also a great move to continue doing as well. So we're using the commands in a situation that could make him so much better when it comes to greeting people and help with his overall training, of course. Go say hi, no jumping, the treat, the petting, everything's down there. If you were to jump, good. So he's done this so many times, he's just gonna probably, once you practice a bit, he's gonna just come back to you. Make sure you're there to give him a reward. And it just takes off and it's even better than before. If he starts to jump, you're gonna do no. Or you're gonna instruct your people that come over to greet him, no, and then you call him to come. The worst thing to do is to correct jumping. If you correct it with push, like, nope, see that? See how it works? He's very excited to see Brandon. When he walks over to you, you pet him. So the message is, all good things happen when you stay on all 4 feet like that. As soon as you jump, they're after your hands. As soon as you jump, the hands go away. See how he's triggered to stop jumping? Now he's getting everything he wanted. He's just excited. He does get excited sometimes, as you know. But you also have, if the person can't master that move of no, and kind of stepping back like that, come. Now he wants to run over to the camera person. Good, you've got your recall. Just use your recall, draw him out of that situation. Nope, see how that works? He's very excited because I've never made a video with him before. And that's your greeting routine. Sit. This gateway, we're gonna start a walk. There's a lot of distractions out here on the street. Okay, sit. Nope. So you couldn't see it, but behind the camera person, you don't have to show it because they walked past, was a person walking a dog right behind there, and he popped up a little bit. But I had him SIT, and then when he popped up, I think I said no. I think I did, but he went back. You see how he's really waiting? He's waiting for me to come back next to him. Okay, walk through with me. I'm gonna do that little left circle here, close the gate, and then I'm gonna go do the curb. Sit. Now we're gonna have him do the boundary thing at this curb here, and we did 3 different boundaries, and that's the way we always start the walk. That's why he's so calm now when he starts to walk, because he anticipates the way it was yesterday and last week, and he's been here for a month or so. So we built up a new history for him where he only remembers doing it this way. Whatever he did with you, pulling you out or rushing through boundaries, that's becoming the distant past in his mind, because the dog is always going to anticipate what he's been doing for a while and how it's going to go. And then it just gets easier as you reinforce this and always start a walk this way, or anytime that you want him to be calm, just do some boundaries before you come out and do every boundary, and then you'll bring him out on the street, okay, or out on the sidewalk, wherever you're going, and he's already in the zone. You see, we're about to cross the street. I'm kind of exaggerating slowness here, but if there's no sniffing. if he's pulling you, you just tap him and tap him like that. And we're walking painfully slow here, but just making a point. If you walk slow, if he ever, starts pulling you again or is rushing everything, it's because you're rushing. When you slow down and you consistently reinforce this slowness, sit, and this is like fresh out of my property and on the street. He hasn't been out here yet today, and would be very excited on a walk. And you see how doing it this way every day enables him to start the walk slowly, and he starts getting used to that. It's because I go slow. He gets used to going slow because I go slow. And you saw exactly how I do it. You're never restraining him, of course. It's tap and release, and walk slowly. And then we're over here on the sidewalk. Go now. The walk starts. He wants to go over there and he wants to sniff, of course, which he does. And then you can start your walk, and he's way more manageable just because you spent 2 minutes to do the boundaries and also the sidewalk, the curb, and it just gets better all the time as you practice this over and over again. Now we start our walk, and I just want to show you how I handle the leash on a walk. I would say to ensure that all this training doesn't go away and that it actually gets better for you, that you do exactly this. When he starts pulling, you tap him. You got this little tiny prong collar on him, which really does all the work for you. And it's doubled up to a choke chain that hangs loose. You never use the choke chain for training because that can damage his throat. But in case this little flimsy little prong collar ever comes off, it's very small, the choke chain takes over and you don't lose him on the street, although that's never happened with him, but it can happen occasionally. So you've got that, let it do its work. He goes to the end of the leash. You saw him do it once, and you just tap it, and it slows him down. No matter how much he wants to pull or where he wants to go, you always have as well, come. You have the come command, good. So, especially at first, bring your pouch with your treats, because you always have your come command, which he knows really well. Okay, buddy, let's go. Sit. Go, and always keep that leash loose. The way that I do it is basically, I always do it the same way: left hand leash, right hand reward. But if you're walking him and he pulls, you can just tap and release like that. And he has a nervous itch, which you'll see when he's under a little bit of stress, which he is because we're doing a video and the camera person's here. He'll just randomly itch, and you'll see that throughout this video. But it's kind of like it's a nervous habit, nervous tick. I've seen it in other dogs before, so don't worry about that. You can always call him to you. Good. That makes the leash way more loose, and completely loose, which is what you want. Your biggest enemy is a tight leash where you're going like this, and you're controlling him, and he's pulling you. It'll make him so overstimulated and overexcited that he won't be able to focus and think and do any training. So keep that leash loose. If you're using the leash, it's tap and release, tap and release, tap and release. Body language, backing away, draws him to you. If you add this target with the treat, see how he goes anywhere? Good. Anywhere I go. So we use this target closed hand, not half open or like this or any of that kind of stuff. It's really simple. It's just a fist. When we really need this to work and there's no leash and no treat, come. We have it. Good boy. Good. No treat. He doesn't know it's empty, so always use that in an emergency. And it will work because you practice with a reward when you practice with a leash. And then when there's no reward and no leash, it's way more likely to be able to do it with you, that recall. And you see also that I'm doing, come on buddy, okay. Backing away. Body language is super important. And you don't even have to say the command, but it's just one of these basic things that the dog is drawn to you. See, there's no treat. Good boy. Just love him up if you don't have a treat. Good. if you back away, the dog's drawn to you. So always use that when you call him to come, if you can. Come. Now I have a treat. It works because when I have practice with the treat, good. The treat, the pet, and the good all happen simultaneously. So when I don't have a treat, and I say good and love him up maybe extra, probably barely misses that treat. Still works well if you do it that way. Okay, let's go, buddy. Sit. I'm just practicing a little sit stay out in a place where it's a very stressful place. Could be. Lots of distractions, and just practicing his sit stay and showing you how he's staying in his sit stay in the presence of a lot of goings on. And if you practice a sit stay or a down stay in an environment like this, good. See how I'm rewarding him? Go ahead, it's okay. You see all the carts going past us and around us. All I did was I stepped back to him. This is the way to reward him in a sit stay when he does an exceptional sit stay like this. Eye contact. I'm not bending over. Just look at the way I'm standing here. Straight. It's okay. Good. Straight down. All the people walking past. This is really good. He's very solid in a sit stay. And then to release him, wait till this one last cart goes past. Never restraining him, you see. Just tap his chest and say, go. And he's free. Down. Good. I will just show you how he's doing with his down stay. So to reward him in a down stay, just have the reward. Good. Put it down in front of him. Make sure he's waiting, that he doesn't try to grab it out of your hand. Pull back if he does and say no. So if I'm going down there to reward him and he tries to touch my hand, I would say no. But he doesn't do that. He's waiting. And then say good the moment he takes it, because we want to, in all different situations, have him love that word good. Look at how these carts are coming our way. If you have a giant distraction coming your way, reward him with a big reward as they pass by. It'll enable him to handle all that. That kind of cart usually spooks a lot of dogs with the odd shaped wheel. So he's got a real solid stay, and even though it's great to be able to do this, and you could show off, of course. Good. We're really after the byproduct of practicing so much that he's this calm in the presence of distractions, because we're really after how, okay, see how I release him, sit, just okay, stands up, have him sit, release him out of a sit stay, go. We're after the calmness that it develops in him after every down stay, every stay you're practicing. So it's really the quality of how we do this, and releasing him calmly like you just saw me doing. And it's about that. And he is kind of a nervous dog, as you can see throughout the video. He's like itching himself, and he never does that unless he's stressed out. So, but he's handling it, and over time you'll see you keep practicing this, and you'll build him up gradually. And he's already a great dog, of course, but he'll just get calmer and calmer and more under control if you continue to practice this. Oh, look, there's a dog up here. And see, he can tell, oh, he sees that. Come, call him away from those types of distractions. You see the dog, keep filming. You see the dog right up ahead of us. So, come, call him to come, back to you. Good. Practice your recall. See how this works? You're always gonna see how the dog's really excited, out of control. Come. That's always gonna trigger a dog like Spencer to get excited, maybe want to pull over there. It's not aggression, but he wants to play. But it's a great thing to practice. And you always have to take the lead in these things. You have to take the first step. Don't see the distraction, wait for him to get excited, and then restrain him and all that. It's too late then. The whole point is to plug in the appropriate response to that behavior before it erupts. We know what situations will make him excited, so you don't have to wait for him to get out of control and overexcited, because you know you're coming up to a dog, especially if the dog is running around or barking or something like that, you know how he's going to get. So before he gets that way, plug in your come command, which makes him stop staring because he turns away from it and come running back to you. And that's the way that you short circuit that old behavior that we never want to see come back, that pulling on the leash and being out of control on the street. That's how to do it. Just do it consistently, and it gets easier and easier. Okay. You're going to walk him up to the mat. You're going to say sit, and then you're going to send him to the mat. Go to your mat. You're going to walk over with him and say down. And then you're going to reward him. Just take a treat out of your pouch. I do it with my right hand. Swing in like that. Good. Put it on the mat. He waits till you withdraw. He takes it off the mat respectfully. If he's trying to grab, let me use a high value reward here, a little piece of hot dog. If he's trying to grab your reward, touch your hand. Good. You see how I move back a little bit? That's because we practiced for such a long time. But this is what you get. He just knows that if he tries to get it before I allow him to, or before I withdraw, I'm going to pull it back. He knows that, so he's not going to do that because he wants to get the treat sooner, of course. So see how I swing in? Good. And then, you don't want to do this because you'll lure him to pop up, so just take it out of your pouch, swing in, do it exactly like you saw me just do it a couple times. And then you can practice simple stuff. Even if you were to practice and feel comfortable with this simple move of just walking around both ways, and he stays there calmly, reward him. Good. Sometimes his feet are together, and it's okay if you just do that gently but firmly, what you just saw me do. You can also practice pulling on the leash. I don't know if the camera I think if I walk to the end you can still see me, right? That post isn't obscuring. Go to the end of your arm, that's 8 feet away, pull. See how he won't get up? Good. Little simple things that you can do without ever dropping the leash. Just get comfortable with this at first, and maybe do this in your backyard, do it in your kitchen, or another big room in your house or something. If he pops up, you say no. You saw a piece of treat on the ground that I had dropped. See, I didn't even have to do that, which you might have to do occasionally. He knows how this game is played. In his mind, it's a game. He doesn't even know it's training. And he knew that he lost focus to get the treat. I reset him, he automatically put himself back. That's the way you want it to be. So just try to do this mat exercise in a couple of different spots and do it this well. Get him to where you're comfortable doing it and he's comfortable with you doing this. And then you can start doing things like dropping the leash and walking away. So you might have to go this way to show what I'm going to do here. So I'm dropping the leash. We're in a big yard here. It's fully fenced, so I can drop the leash. You're only going to drop the leash, of course. Yeah, you're going to have to, so that doesn't get in your way. See how I popped up? Nope. And I'm going to show you how to work through a problem. So this is a yard that he spends a lot of time in because it's a good yard for him to be in. And he's used to people coming and going at that gate. And so he's running around here. And so he'll follow somebody there when they open the gate to leave. And when somebody arrives through that gate, he rushes to meet them. So that's why that's such a trigger. And I saved this thing to show you on the video how to get through a problem. So obviously he lost his focus when I did that. Now I'm going to say, whenever you deal with a situation like this, I'm going to remind him what to keep doing. And he's quickly losing focus. This is the last video of the whole video that we're doing today. This is the last thing we're putting on the video. So we already did Home Depot and other things out in public, a bunch of other things. So you see how he loses focus if you do too much training at once. But still, we're gonna work through this. So remind him what to keep doing. Down. Okay, so we got him past that, opening it. I didn't step through yet. Break it into little parts. Good, he gets a reward. I'm just gonna do a little bit more each time. Down, open the gate, step out. like I did before. Remember the first time I went out, I closed the gate and he popped up. Come back, reward. Good. Also, if he's doing something for the first time, you found something that is difficult for him to handle, and he starts having successes do it, give him big rewards, double rewards, because they know the difference in the portion you give them. He'll know the difference. It'll help him be motivated to, really try harder. Down. That's what we did in the beginning that made him pop up. We broke it up into 3 different parts, rewarding him for each part at the end. Good, big, nice reward. And if you encounter this kind of thing when you're doing this on the mat, once he's had a real success like this, you're done. Because he always remembers, he's always going to remember how it ended. Okay, pat your leg, say okay, lead him off the mat, have him sit, and then release him to be free, go. So this mat exercise is something I've done with him since day one, and it's really the foundation for a lot of the training, because you can see his downstay and his sit stays are great out in public, and it's because we practice this every day. And in my yard, in my house, I control the distractions. And he wants to go sniff something. You control the distractions on your own property, and then that way you can work him through different things and keep throwing, more and more difficult things at him. If something's too hard that he just can't handle, you're doing something he's not ready to handle, back it up, take a week to work up to trying that thing again. But that's what I did here, and that's why he's got such a solid stay out in public with all those distractions that you see on this video. It's because of doing this exactly the way I just showed you, finding something that triggers him to pop up or lose focus, working through it, getting a success, and then going on to the next thing, finding something else. So you always want to be pushing the envelope, even if you just do this exercise for 2 or 3 minutes a day. I usually now I'll do it for 5 minutes a day, but whatever time you have, it's really about the quality that you do it with, not long periods of time. So if you just had 3 minutes a day, do a couple of really good sit stays, down stays, call him to come to you a few times, sit at boundaries, and he's going to keep getting better, rather than doing half an hour and just bludgeoning him with all the repetitions. It would just turn into drudgery and make him hate to work with you the next day. So always just remember, short periods of learning, quality versus quantity as far as the time you're spending with him. See how he's pulling me? And I stop it just from tapping and releasing, tapping and releasing. And remember that if you stop your training before he's spent, like before his concentration's blown, because of that rule, they always remember how it ended. Tomorrow, he would be raring to go because he'd remember, oh, yesterday was great, I still wanted to do more, but I can't wait to do that again. That's also why, with all the dogs, we just do a little bit of learning and then we quit while they're doing really well, when they could have done more. But I always want them to be anticipating the way it was before. So we build up days and weeks of that, and that's why they just love to work and learn this way, because of how we do it. And so always leave him wanting more. If he has a great success, you're done for the day, because tomorrow it's going to be a little bit better, because he'll remember that he was having fun, and that's because of the way you did it and you manage those training times. That's why he'll learn faster in the long run.